Okay, welcome to the Love First show. It's a pleasure having you with us, and a pleasure for us being able to be in your houses and bringing you this beautiful program, especially because we have today two excellent, amazing guests, Alison and Amber, and these two girls, after their careers, their studies, and being professional basketball players, they decided to do something for the community and to raise really awareness and help, basically, for people that really need it. So, girls, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Okay, it's our pleasure. Really, I'm really happy to found you. It was kind of a discovery. After in a meeting we met, and these two girls start talking about what they do.
Our mission is to bring something to the city that they haven't had before, that's going to support these people that are in the streets, to feel confident again in their own self, to feel confident again in their own path, to know that when we sit down and talk to them, they say, I'm kicked out of every single resource we've given them because of their behavior. But why is their behavior that way when they're going in there? We just want to offer friendship.
So the idea born, you start working on that, if you both are BFF, huh? You start 519%. So it's basically a movement and a non-for-profit organization that on the go, no? That helps homeless in London. What do you think is the most important thing these homeless or these people in need, let's put it this way, let's take out the name homeless.
But that's it. You just said it.
So what is the main need from that? They need.
Everybody needs something different. Everybody has a different story. That's like walking into a hospital and saying, what do you guys need?
They need love first.
They need love.
First. Compassion.
It's not they. We need
exactly.
love first.
Everyone. It's not
the
just
world, society, community. We need to forget the fact that everybody is, everybody has a difference. Amber and I have a difference. Me and my mother have a difference. Me and my cousin do. Me and my bosses do. It doesn't matter. You're never gonna walk up and see two people with the exact same story.
We're all different. Yeah.
Exactly. So the best thing that can be offered is love.
Right.
At the end of the day, whether you want to deny the love or push it away, you're still going to feel that love. One day down the road, you're going to say, that made me feel really good because that stuck with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love first. So we're going to go for a small break, and when we come back, we continue Love First and Alison.
This morning I woke up with a great thought, and that was that everyone I'm going to meet today, I'm going to give them a smile. It's free. We invite you to post on all our social medias something that you may consider doing today.
You can see behind us there's a tent with a lot of people, there's clothing given away, and some food, and especially some good deeds, some good feelings being shared between all the people behind us. And that's why we have today Paul Butler with us, as he is a part of that organization called 519%. Welcome to our show, Paul.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, it's a pleasure, Paul, and thank you to you to come to our screen and tell the people all what you've been going around. So 519% is a place where Alison and Amber, two ladies, very young ladies, decided one day that they were going to do something to help what we name the homeless, which we want to take that name out of the context, no, because it's different. Well, they're helping people that need help. It's basically that. So, we invite Paul today because Paul experienced that, and he is overcoming all these events in his life. Trying to, yeah. And okay, Paul. So, first, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I came here when I was 8 from England. I had my 8th birthday on the boat. Had a rough start in Canada, didn't do very well in school. I have a grade 8 education. I didn't continue with high school because my schooling did not go well here. So when I finally ended up on the streets about the age of 13, won't get totally into what it was, but it wasn't great anyways. Ended up with mental health and addiction issues, of course, being on the streets. You try and stay awake at night, sometimes for days. Usually there's a drug or two or alcohol that will help you do that.
Yeah.
So of course got caught up in all of that, got myself into trouble with the law. You know, you feel scared, you're alone, of course. It's a big one, is being alone for people. Sometimes the people that work there could be downright rude. You know, they look down upon you instead of treating you as an equal. You know, we're all, and I don't care who you are, how rich or poor you are, we're all about 2 paychecks away from being on the streets.
Exactly. Paul, before we go further there, how was your life at 13 years old kid going to the streets? How was that? You and you were telling us that you were in Toronto at that moment.
I was in Toronto. I did not get along with my adopted parents at all. We had been, there was a lot of fighting in between us. You know, it just kind of got to heads. It was kind of a mutual, you need to leave. So, you know, but I didn't have any plans. They certainly didn't help me, you know, find alternate arrangements. So I left school. I ended up on the streets of Toronto, Yonge Street. You know.
What were you doing? 13 years old.
Finding places to sleep at night was very, very difficult.
What type of places were you at that moment?
I would actually leave the downtown. I would go downtown because there were certain places you would go to eat, but none of that was available. I was from the outskirts, so out in the suburbs. So I felt safer in the suburbs because there was no other people. I never hung around other homeless people. Being so young, of course, you've lost your trust with your parents, also with my birth parents, who I've never met. Trust is a big, big thing, and when you have lost it with people who are supposed to be protecting you, you kind of get into a shell. And so I went and stayed in barns. I've stayed in stairwells, friends' garages.
And Paul, okay, all your youth, teenage ages happen on the streets in Toronto, and most of your life basically in Toronto. And you were always on the streets.
Not always. Like I've, you know, I was on the streets for about 3 years, and then I finally got some help, only through getting in trouble with the law. So I ended up going through a rehabilitation center for addiction, which was alcohol at the time. And I almost passed it. Ended up meeting a few people actually in the addictions place and learned how to do harder drugs, which then in turn made me go the other way, back out on the streets again. But eventually I ended up getting a decent job, and I got married actually for 10 years, had a beautiful son. And I will say thank you. He's a very good boy. He's not followed his dad's path, which makes me very happy. But you know, my life has been very much up and down, like a roller coaster. And when I'm up, as I am now, coming out of a very big slump, I always try and give back.
Paul, as today you were telling behind camera that you've been 2 years and a half, let's say, clean in a house. You're out. Your life is going back on track.
So slowly it is. Yeah. No. I've been in London for 2 years.
Yeah.
It'd be actually the end of this month. I've been housed about 20 months in London housing, and I've had some slip-ups. I've had to go back to Westover Treatment Centre back in September, and that was for addiction to hard drugs. I've had a few slip-ups since then. I've been clean probably about 4 months now, and trying to stay moving forward.
Let's talk about your feelings. How you feel right now?
Well, I feel better. I'm still fighting with mental health and addiction issues. So finally, after 50 years, I have a psychiatrist and doctors backing me up. I have counselors in different agencies, and these two young, wonderful ladies have been a lot of help. I believe in them 100%. I believe in what they're doing. I'm very happy that they've asked me to be a board member, actually, of their organization, which is totally makes me feel awesome.
You have, as the movement, the organization, now you have a pursuit.
Yes.
You want to pursue something else.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody wants to belong. Yeah. Right. It doesn't matter where you belong, but everybody wants to belong somewhere in life. Yeah. And I've always had an issue with where do I belong, especially being adopted, never fitting in places and stuff. These girls have made me feel so welcome, which is very nice.
So what will you say to all our viewers about 519 Pursuit, coming from your experience and what these girls have been given you?
From my own experience, I could only wish that there had been an organization like this when I was younger and living on the streets. Somebody who would have been able to point me in the right direction, whether it had been to a youth shelter organization at that time. Phenomenal, the love these girls have, the help they just give every day. When they bump into people, everybody's got a different story, and I'm a very strong believer that mental health and addictions go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter who you are.
So we can say that Allison and Amber in 519 Pursuit is basically love first.
Yes, absolutely. Love first all the way. And please, if you can, follow them on Instagram and Facebook and donate whatever you can. I believe we also have a GoFundMe page. We're trying to raise money for a van so that we can go around the community and reach the individuals a little bit further on the outskirts of town. Not everybody's right here downtown.
Paul, thank you very much. And for all of you that are watching us, you just hear Paul. They need a van. If somebody has a van who wants to donate to 519 Pursuit, please call the number on the screen right now. Email. I think it's an email that we have from 519 Pursuit. Email them. Let them know that you can donate a van, a car. They need a van so they will be able to bring all the goods and they're bringing food and clothing and drinks and things that these guys they really need it. And as you can see from the footage right now on your screens, they're putting up a lot of clothes. There's a need. So love first.
Thank you.
When we go for a small break and when we come back, we continue our show. Out there are many people doing good things, many organizations doing good things, amazing things, and we would like to bring them to the show and show their work. In this segment, we will be bringing an organization whose mission is to find justice among children who have been taken as slaves or used for sexual trafficking. I would like to warn you because there are some images that probably are not suitable for all audiences. Please take a look.
So, welcome back to Love First. We will continue our story with IJM, about the organization, how it develops, and where it's going. So let's talk a little bit about IGM. Where did it start? Where did it come from? And where are we going?
That's actually an amazing story. IGM was started by a gentleman by the name of Gary Haugen. And Gary was a civil rights lawyer in the United States. He was seconded to Rwanda to head up the investigation into genocide. And as he tells the story, he was in a church and his team was identifying cause of death of literally hundreds of people. And as he stood there, he realized that all the human rights organization, all the aid, all the medical aid in the world means absolutely nothing if there's no one there to stop the machetes, if there's no one there to keep people safe. So he came back to the States and worked at it for a few years, and in 1997 started International Justice Mission with the idea that rule of law is vital to any development work happening in this world. And he, as a lawyer, he was looking to see that the laws need to be changed. The laws were already there. Mm-hmm. They just weren't being enforced. So IJM was started to help local justice systems work within their own legal system, work within their laws, and help them build up to be protecting the poor that they should be. That's how we started.
And that was in Washington, D.C.?
Based out of Washington, yes. One of the first countries we worked in was Cambodia. Really a huge problem there with sex trafficking of very young children. And over a 12-year period in Cambodia, we went from it being a horrendous situation where I believe it was up to 30% underage girls being trafficked to less than 1% at this particular point in time.
Girls 15 and under, less than 0.1% of the population.
Exactly.
It's a brilliant achievement.
Now, IGM worked with a lot of other organizations. We built bridges, we worked in partnership with others. Mm-hmm. But I will say it was Gary's vision and the work that IGM was doing that started the process and that really took it through to completion.
Mm-hmm. So how did you develop in Canada, and particularly in London?
Well, shall I take
also
this one?
A great story. Yeah, go ahead, Glenn.
Our founder in Canada was a gentleman by the name of Jamie McIntosh, and he was working for another aid agency and saw the work that IGM was doing and just thought, I need to bring this to Canada. So in 2002, he started IGM Canada. In 2003, we were registered with Canada Revenue Agency, and he started fundraising, trying to raise funds to support the work in the field. He started out of his house as a one-man show and gradually built it up over the years to the point now where we are 20 people, over $7 million in revenue, and we are supporting the work in 7 different countries that is supporting justice for poor.
Oh, excellent. So we're talking about London staff now. Were all your members brought from London, or did you bring people in from the US or from Europe?
It's all Canadian staff.
It is all Canadian, which is actually reflective of the organization. Globally, 95% of the people who work in our offices are nationals of the country where the office is based, which is part of the vision of IJM, that it makes sense to invest in the people in the country where the office is located so that the entire nation is transformed through a variety of different ways, including strengthening professionals within their community.
Brilliant. Very nice organization. So where do we go from here? We'll talk about specific cases in a moment. But getting the word out about the organization, what's your role? What are you actually doing to encourage people to understand the work, find out what you're doing, and look for financing, obviously?
We are, at the simplest form of it, we tell the stories of people who can't tell their own stories. So we will tell the stories of a family who's been tricked into slavery in India and has been laboring in a brick kiln for 12 years, and they're finally rescued. We will tell the story of a widow in Uganda who is being thrown off her land violently because her husband has died and she and her children have no one to protect them. We'll tell the stories of a little girl in Bolivia who's sexually assaulted and no one believes her, but IGM takes her case. We'll tell the stories of children in the Philippines, children as young as under 1 year old, who are being trafficked online for pedophiles worldwide. And we tell those stories to Canadians, and I know how that affects Canadians because it affects me. I have 2 daughters, and I can't imagine them going through that. So our job is to help stop this.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's really hard. It's like I was thinking I want to die because of this pain, but I can't. When first time my recruiter telling me that Manila is very nice, he said, so I can wear a nice clothes, and then he taking care of me. He told me that he can help me to reach all my dreams. First time in Manila, it was very happy because there's a lot of building. You wear nice clothes, you have your own money, you can stay in a nice house. So Manila is very nice compared to my place. We are 6 victims inside of the house of my recruiter. My recruiter hurt me every day when I do something bad that he don't like, because he want every day, I need to follow him, that if I don't follow him, he's going to hurt me, just spank me, slap me in the face in front of the people. I really want to kill him. I really want to die that time, but I can't. It feels very lonely for me because I was very far from my family and I can't tell them what happened to me because I was very scared. When they rescued us, it made me heal all the pain. It is in my second home I realized everything, that you don't need to lose hope. If I see or if I hear or there is a victim of human trafficking like us, I just want her to comfort her, help her to move forward and just fight for your rights. Because that's the start where I stand now.